What's up guys, welcome to Team Tech Daily. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. If you couldn't guess by all the stuff on the table, we are actually building a computer from scratch. I'm very excited to do this, so I'm just briefly going to tell you the different parts that we have with us today. So you can see here we have an LG Modisc Blu-ray disc writer and reader. We have a Samsung SSD 850 EVO, 250GB SSD. Then the centerpiece of it all, we have an Intel 4790K unlocked Core i7. We also have a Caviar Blue 1TB Western Digital 7200 RPM drive. NZXT sort of like expansion board. This will fit in the front of our case and offer us USB 3.0 GTX 960 from EVGA, 16GB of DDR3 clocked at 1600 MHz. Then we have a CX600M power supply from Corsair. And then we have a Z97 Pro 4 Super Alloy ASRock motherboard. And then the thing that will be holding it all together, the Cooler Master 912 HAF or half case. Alright guys, that was a lot of jump cuts, but we're just about ready to get started with the build log, so let's get going. So you can see here the first thing we did was take out our Core i7 4790K processor and put it into the CPU location on the motherboard, the socket. We closed that and removed the plastic cover that was protecting it during shipment because we don't need that. Then we applied the Intel included stock cooler, which was pre-pasted with thermal goop. Then we installed our 16GB of RAM, 8GB on each stick. You want to make sure that it's facing the right way because there is a little notch offset to the side, and you just click it in and it's ready to go. We then put in our DVD Blu-ray disc drive, and that was really easy, followed by the Aperture M.I.O. expansion card thing. We used the screws included with the case to put it in, and then popped in our I.O. shield on the back once we were completed with that. You can see here we're just putting in the risers for the motherboard to help mount it in place, and then we put the motherboard on and put the little screws in, and it was ready to go. As you can see, it took quite a bit of time because the screws are small and the areas you need to put them are also very hidden. We then popped in our CX600M power supply from Corsair, screwed that in on the back, and that was pretty much the only install needed for that. We then did some basic cable management, running pins from where they were built into the case, such as the LED indicator lights and the power switch, and we worked to connect those to the pins on the motherboard. That was quite an interesting experience because the pins aren't perfectly labeled and it took some time. We then removed the SSD cage from the bottom of the case and put in our Samsung 850 EVO 250GB SSD and screwed that back in. That was really quick and easy. Then we put in our mass storage drive, which was a 1TB, I believe, or 2TB Caviar Blue hard drive. And that was really easy using the included rack mounting sled that came with the case. Then came the fun part of running all of the cables. Because I'm sort of OCD when it comes to cable management, we decided to go all out with this and try and run everything we could behind the mounting plates and behind all of the hardware so that it would look really nice. Even though it is a closed case, there's no window in the side. So you can see here we ran the power and SATA to the SSD, and using the included power cable that came with the power supply, we use that to power all of our hard drives, not just the SSD, since they commonly do daisy chain them, since they're typically mounted very close together. So you can see we're just doing a little bit more cable management. It took a lot of time to get all of this organized and ready to go. And then it was time to throw in the GTX 960, the graphics card that we chose for this build. So we popped it in, then screwed it in, and then we had to provide it with power. The power cable is one of the weird ones where it's like two separate connectors that you fit together and put in, but that was easy to figure out and pretty standard. At that point, we had finished installing all of our hardware, so we decided to fire it up and see what happened. So you can see we're pretty much just leaving it how it was, connected it to a monitor, and flipped it on for the first time. So it came up with the ASRock sort of please install boot media message. So we put in our Windows 10 license/install drive and immediately got the Windows logo, which is very promising in my opinion. So we waited, and all in all it took like a minute to load. Once we started installing, that was pretty much it. We put in our password, or not password, the product license key, and that finished the install of Windows automatically. And all in all, it was a very easy install, so kudos to Windows for making that insanely easy and quick. And that's pretty much the building of Shadow. So that's our first ever build log. I know it wasn't exactly perfect, but it's the first try we had at this. So be sure to like this video if you liked it, dislike if you thought it sucked, and leave a comment below letting us know what you think of Shadow, the video, Teen Tech Daily as a whole. We like to hear from our viewers, and we try to respond to every one of you when we can. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you back here with our next video.